So we're just going to flash for the audience. These are the four new tools that we're about to walk through with Sarang. And again, now that you're in the hot seat, love saying that.
Matt, I thought this was going to be a simple webinar. Okay, let's go. Let's go ahead, fire your questions away, and let's see some real live solutions.
All right. So one challenge I continue to hear from manufacturers is, how do I get my operations and maintenance teams to work together? It seems like operations are always frustrated with how long it takes maintenance to complete jobs, and maintenance wants more insight into the issues they need to fix. So ultimately, how can an AI-powered solution fix this problem?
Yeah, Matt, it's a really good question, and it's something that I see come up in many different cases, and you described it perfectly, right? That you've got an operator that's saying, why is it taking maintenance so long to be able to finish up all their work or finish up these maintenance work orders, and you've got a maintenance team saying, well, I have very little information to actually leverage here. Maybe the operator only had, 1 year of experience. They saw an issue. They put in a quick description of that issue, but it really isn't giving a maintenance team enough information to be able to work off of. And ultimately, you have two organizations that are butting heads. And Matt, you heard me talk about it earlier. Innovapptive is very focused on breaking down some of these silos between operations, maintenance, and the storerooms. So let me show you a live demo here. And imagine that I'm in the role of an operator, and maybe I'm new to the business, right? I only have 6 months of experience. And the use case that I'm going to show you is we're starting to see some corrosion and some rust build up on a heat exchanger. This could be a heat exchanger that's in a steel plant or a chemical manufacturing plant, or maybe even an oil refinery. And as I go by and I look and I'm doing my rounds for the day and I see this heat exchanger with quite a bit of rust on it, I don't even know if this is a problem, right? And in the past, what I would have done is maybe just created an issue and said, there's a problem with this heat exchanger. Again, not a whole lot of information for a maintenance team to be able to use. But can we leverage artificial intelligence to beef up the description and provide a lot more information over to the maintenance team? So let me show you our AI detect solution. I'm just going to share my screen here.
Great. I'm curious.
Okay. Okay, Matt, you can see my screen here?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, excellent. So I said, I'm in the role of an operator right now, and I'm looking at this heat exchanger. I've only got 6 months of experience. I don't know if this is an actual problem, but I think it's something that we need to go ahead and get over to the maintenance team. In the past, I would have just created an issue and said, there's a problem with this heat exchanger. But here, what I've done is actually taken a picture of this heat exchanger. I've even annotated over here at the bottom and said, look, this is an area where I have some concerns. And I'm just going to go ahead and save and then submit this actual picture. So let me fire this out into our AI detect solution here. And our solution is going to go in and analyze this picture. And what you'll notice is it's come up with a number of pieces of information. First, it's given this picture just by analyzing one picture, Matt, just by one click. It's been able to analyze this and give it a title. Look at the description that is actually put in, right? It said it's identified significant corrosion damage on the heat exchanger in the galvanizing line. The affected areas show clear signs of rusting and pitting, particularly along the tubes in the outer shell. Our solution was able to automatically come up with this description. Now imagine a maintenance technician being able to read something like this. They have so much more information to be able to go off of. All of a sudden, a job that was supposed to take 3 or 4 hours to complete now maybe only takes 1 hour or 90 minutes to be able to complete, because I have so much more information to go off of. And That's not it, Matt. Look at this. It's even been able to identify the priority associated with this issue, right? This is a big problem. If a heat exchanger goes down in a plant, then you can't cool down all the materials. It's a major, major problem in the manufacturing process. So it's put this in as a high priority job, and it's even been able to identify the exact piece of equipment and the location of where this piece of equipment is. So now, when I submit this over to a maintenance team, they know exactly what they're going to be working on. They know exactly where they're headed. And this is going to have a significant impact to things like MTTR.
This is incredible. Yeah, I'm sure every maintenance team wants to get their hands on something like this. But now thinking of the different roles, I want to switch gears a little bit. For example, I've heard it can take a planner 45 minutes in some cases to build a work package because of all the details they need to add to a work order. Can AI help in this area as well?
Yeah, it's another great question, Matt. It absolutely can. What I'm going to take our audience through is our AI plan solution. And yes, I've worked directly with the manufacturers where taking the issue that we just generated and converting that over to a work order can easily take 45 minutes. And why is that the case, right? If you think about building an actual work package, there's quite a bit of information that needs to go into that work package. It's not only just the title and the description of the work order, but what about all the components that are needed for this type of job? What about all the forms that I need to fill out as I'm going through this job? What about any permits that I might need to pull for this actual work package? And then on top of all of that, what about all the operational tasks that I need to be able to complete on this job? Many of the organizations that we work with have challenges because that information, to be able to find all that information and add it into the work package, I mean, this could be in multiple different systems. You might have to go into multiple different areas of those systems. So it can easily take 45 minutes just to create the work package for one job. Now, Matt, I'm going to blow you away here. We're going to do this in seconds, literally seconds.
Oh boy,
right?
Here we go.
So here, what you're seeing on my screen is that same issue that we created has got all the information in here. And again, now the maintenance team has a lot more information to be able to go off of and knows the exact piece of equipment, the location. One click of a button, Matt, just one click. I'm going to convert this to a work order, and let's see what our AI plan solution is able to do for somebody that's in a planner role here. So I'm going to click convert to a work order. It's going in, it's analyzing that actual issue that we created. And take a look at this, right? It's gone in, it's created all the information for this work order. It's put in the description associated with this job. It's marked this actual work order as a high priority work order. And now here's where the magic really comes in. It's added in all the operations that need to be completed for this job. It's added in all of the components for this job. It's added in the permits. It's added in the forms. And the way that it's able to do this, Matt, is it's analyzing all of our past history, right? We've done plenty of work orders like this in the past. We have 400, 500-page OEM guides and service manuals that are providing us with all of this information. So our AI engine is analyzing all of that information, as well as the issue that was created, and it's able to create this entire work package within seconds. Now, of course, if there was something wrong here, if I had to add in an additional component or I needed to add in an additional form on this, I can go in and I can edit any of this information. And that's really important because it's going to continue to train our model over time.
Wow. Yeah, we're in the future now. And you hinted at it. I keep you in that hot seat. I have a follow-up for you here. As you know, I visit with our customers frequently. And I was recently on site. I was talking to a maintenance tech just last week. And I asked him, if you come across an issue you have not seen before, how would you go through troubleshooting that process? And it was unbelievable. The guy went to his cabinet, pulled out this 400-page, 20-pound OEM guide, and he said, start reading, son. And I said, wow. And so my question here is, can AI help these folks?
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. And I'll show the audience our AI assist solution here in just a minute. But look, I'll give you, I guess this is, I would say, a scary statistic, but you know, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier about the workforce, right? The maintenance technicians that have maybe 30, 40 years of experience that know how to complete every single job, that's great. But guess what? Some of them are getting ready to move out of the workforce or getting ready to retire. So you have a whole new workforce coming into an organization. And many of these people only have maybe 6 months, 1 year, 2 years of experience. And I can guarantee you they have not seen all the issues. And, you know, 80% of the time when a new maintenance tech is getting stuck on their job, I can tell you they're not sitting down for 45 minutes and reading through the 400-page, 20-pound OEM guide, right? What they're
Yeah.
actually doing is they're calling somebody for help. And that means now I've got to get someone off of their other job to come over and help. It's called a junior technician. And it's not a great work experience for that person either, right? They can't be self-sufficient in their job. And I think that's also why retention rates are lower in many cases because people are getting frustrated, right? I want to be able to save the day. I want to be able to fix this job. I want to be able to fix it the first time. I don't want this job to take hours and hours to be able to complete. I want to make sure my operations team is happy and the whole plant is operating well. And when I can't do that, it's frustrating, right? And then maybe I'm going to go leave and work for another organization. So yes, we can absolutely leverage artificial intelligence to help with something like this. And here, what you're seeing is the actual work order that we created. And what I'm going to do is, I've got to go through my actual process now of removing some of the corrosion or the rust on that heat exchanger. I've never done this before. So I'm going to use our AI assistant here to be able to help me with this. I'm just going to click on my assistant button over here at the bottom. I'm going to put in that I need help processing this repair, and I'm going to send this off. The AI engine is going to go through and it's going to say, okay, let's scan through all of those 400, 500 page, OEM guides and service manuals. Let's look at all of our work order history of jobs like this that we've done in the past and take a look at this. It's gone through and provided the 4-step process for this maintenance tech to go through and complete this actual job. Right? It didn't give them a 400-page manual. It said, here's exactly what you need to do to be able to complete this work. And it did that within seconds. Also at the bottom here, you can see it's provided some how-to videos and things of that sort just to help this user, this maintenance tech, be able to complete their work. And then one thing that's extremely, extremely important, if you see here, Matthew, it's provided me with a PDF as well. This is extremely important because we want to be able to provide the maintenance tech with any reference material as well, right? We want them to be able to go in and open up this PDF and say, okay, on page 126, I see these actual work instructions. This is the right thing to be able to do for this job. And now I can go through and I can complete my work.
That's awesome. Got the full package there. Sarang, I have to say, you have me sold. But I do have one more question challenge for you. You talked about digitizing workflows, but to do that, we know a lot of these organizations, you would need to digitize paper forms, checklists, etc. Many of these companies have literally hundreds of paper-based forms, and digitizing each one, we would think would be a massive, long, and tedious process. So again, throwing the ball in your court, is there anything Innovapptive could do to speed this up?
Yeah, and that you're right. Digitizing all of those paper forms is absolutely a long and tedious process. Earlier in my career, I was even a solution engineer showing demos like this, and I remember getting prepared for demos and taking days just to be able to go in and digitize a form. So I can understand some of their frustration, right? And I just had to do that for one form, right? A manufacturer is doing that for hundreds and hundreds of forms. So of course we have capabilities just to be able to upload a paper form. We have OCR technology that can scan that form and actually generate a digital form for their organization. But Matthew, I'm going to take this one step further. It's one thing to be able to digitize a form, a paper form that an organization already has. But what would you do if you didn't even have a form already created, right? What if you're, a planner or you're a maintenance supervisor, and somebody's asked you, hey, you need to go ahead and create a brand new form from scratch, right? Maybe we have, a new piece of equipment that we're using, and I want you to go ahead and create a brand new form from scratch. Now you have to just even think about what are the questions that I'm going to put into that form? What are all the sections that I'm going to have to put in, right? I'm not working off of something that's already created. So it's a much more difficult process. Let me show our audience our AI author solution. And you can see it up here on the page. And the solution is just asking me to enter in a prompt. And so I'm going to just give it a prompt here. And it's actually a pretty lengthy one, Matt, because I want our audience to see the power of this solution. And I'll read off this prompt for the audience here. What I've put in is I've said, give me a digital standardized work instruction for a 500-hour preventative maintenance of a Caterpillar 793F haul truck. And Matt, if you've ever seen these things before, these are like massive earth-moving machines. The tires alone are probably 3 times the size of us. So I want to be able to create this. And then I want to give this some more information. I said, I want the work instruction to cover all aspects of mechanical inspections. This could include inspection details, maybe safety precautions, running and operational checks, running inspections, visual inspections, and I wanted to also put in a sign-off process. And so I'm going to go ahead and just submit this. Here's telling me sit tight. AI is going through. Our AI author solution is going through. It's analyzing the prompt that I just put in. And I'm going to show you the actual form that it created in just a second here. But just one other key note, let's say that we had a 500-page OEM guide or a couple of them. You see this attach button over here. I could also attach a few of those manuals and say, based off of everything that you're seeing in these manuals, can you go ahead and create a couple of safety checklists for me? So those capabilities are here as well. And all I'm going to do is just click my continue button. Again, you'll see this whole process going through and being completed in under 60 seconds. And Matt, I can tell you from firsthand experience, this takes days, hours, days, weeks to be able to complete in many cases. Yeah, and here it is. Here's the form that's been generated literally within seconds, right? And remember, I told it from a prompt standpoint, I said, put in inspection details. I want a section for safety precautions. I want a section for the running and operational checks. All of these have already been created. All the sections have been created. All the questions have been created. We went even further, right? Because for each of these questions, our system is able to go through and say, what should the response type be? Should it be a checkbox? Should it be a multiple choice question? Should it be a yes or no? And the other thing that I really like about this solution is over here on the right-hand side, you can see it's giving you a preview of what the mobile application will actually look like. I can tell you this is one of the most frustrating things for anyone that's in a role that's trying to build out these forms. Because imagine if I build out this form and I don't have this preview on the right-hand side. Now I've got to build the form. I've got to sync my mobile app, see if I actually like the way that it's looking, go back and edit the form again, go back, sync my mobile app again. So if you don't have this preview on the right-hand side here, the process is going to take very long to be able to complete.
Yeah. No, this is beautiful. Yep. That's it. Otherwise, thank you again, Sarang. Thank you, our audience. Hope everyone had fun and stay tuned for our next sessions.
Thanks, Pat.
Adios, everyone.